coming. You know, it was a tough loss. You just, no different what I said Saturday night. When you start a game with 3 turnovers on your first 3 possessions and you start in a 17-0 hole, hard to get out of. But you watch the video and, you know, you see a defense that played really well. Holding Tulsa to 3-7 a carry. That's pretty good. I thought the defense kept us in it. I think our special teams with Kyle and Chris's field goals and Kyle's punting, I thought we're playing well enough on special teams and defense. You know, we need to start winning some of these. Offensively, we've got to quit making the mistakes and getting the turnovers that we are that's getting us out of them. We're just going to have to keep working hard with Taylor and on his ball security and eliminating some of those mistakes and keep getting this football team better. It's a process. We're not where we want to be, but we're getting better each week. And just, you know, we got to keep positive with these guys and keep working them hard and rallying the troops and keep them upbeat. And that's what, you know, ever since I've got here, all they've done is everything we ask. And they came over yesterday with a great attitude. And we watched very little Tulsa video and went to work on Houston. Houston's an incredible football team. You know, everybody offensively, everybody knows what Keenum can do and Bryce Bell. They're really, really, you know, when I can promise you when they were kids and they played tag, you're it, they were never it. There's not a whole lot of people that can touch them. They're where they've gotten, their progress is really they're playing very solid defensive football. They're one of the tops in the country in tackles for losses, and you know, it'll be a tough game having to go to U of H over there to play, but we'll have these kids ready to roll.
Coach, how do you slow them down?
You know, you have to be the best team, and you've got to, the way with the speed they have and the way they create space. If you look at everybody they've played, you know, there's some games that have over 700 yards of offense, and I think it was UCLA held them to their least total of, I think it was 439. You know, those are pretty prolific offensive numbers. You know, we've got to, you know, be physical. You've got to really, you can't make errors with Case. You know, when you're blitzing him, that's when he knows right where that blitz is coming from and where to go with the football. You can tell he's a veteran. You got to have great field distribution. You've got to be able to tackle in space, and offensively, you got to somehow keep the ball out of their hands. You know, it's one of those games where time of possession, you know, could be important in it.
Coach, despite the short week, I don't think you'll have a problem getting your players up for this game. It is the rivalry game.
It is. You know what? And when you win that bucket, you see how important it is to these players. And you know that they're willing to do you know, we as coaches came over early Sunday, the kids come back Sunday because you got to compress, you're losing 48 hours. And they're over here with, you know, with great attitudes, ready to go to work to try to beat Houston. You know, we know they're a ranked team, and there's a lot of excitement over here this week.
What does the bucket mean?
You know, it's incredible when you do win it. When you see, normally I'm the last one to leave here on Saturdays, except when you win the bucket. They're in there taking pictures with it. They're in there, you know, each individual pictures, group pictures, acting like they're drinking from an empty bucket. But, you know, it's when they celebrate it and take it around on campus, it is important. That's a great traveling trophy. It's a great tradition.
You mentioned after the game Saturday night that you wanted to make sure you kept Taylor's confidence up. What was that discussion like with him on Sunday, and why do you think he's had problems progressing this season? He seems like he's either stalled or he's progressing a little bit.
It is, you know, it's one of those, MK, he had a great week of practice. I mean, it was incredible. It was the way he attacked the week, studying video, the way he attacked it at practice. I was really anticipating him having an absolute breakout game. You know, then the first play of the game, he throws the pick on the boot, and he didn't see the guy. The second one, he was trying to make a play that was tipped up, really hard to put that one on him. But the third one, he's got to get down on the football. I think that shakes your confidence. You know, you look at the turnovers we have to eliminate those. And we've got to work with him on when you're making a bad play, you can't make it worse. You know, earlier in the season, he was doing that. We're going to keep working with him on his technique and fundamentals, and I think through preparing him, we can get his confidence back. It's a challenge when you're making the mistakes, but we got to get Taylor McCart where he's got his swagger and walks on the field, know we can win because of him. You know, we don't want to put everything on him. We just need him to take care of the football and help us move the chains. And we've got to get that thought process back with him.
Is it a chicken or the egg sort of situation? He felt so good about himself after those last two games last year. How did he get to this point now where he seems like he's almost questioning himself?
Well, I think he is. I think a lot of it, I think he puts too much pressure on himself, possibly, to perform. When we're talking to him about that, he's got to go back and have fun, like he did a year ago. A year ago, it was like he was playing in the backyard and he thought he was the best. This year, he's trying to make too many plays, and bad things are happening for us. He's making some plays, and we got to get him. We got to get him through it. You know, you got to, even with him, you got to stay positive and upbeat and talk to him about how good he is. And some points when you're not doing good, instead of listening to yourself, he's got to talk to himself and remind himself how good he is. You know, we all get those self-doubts, and you can't listen to yourself. You know, you got to go stand over there and remind yourself, I'm the best there is. We got to get his confidence restored. You do that through praise and encouragement, and show him what he's really doing well, and working with him on eliminating the mistakes that he's making.
Is he still your starter, or do you go with Nick this week?
We don't know yet. We'll see how practice goes.
But Nick's come in a few games this year.
Nick's done well. You know, Nick took care of the football the other night. You know, we would, you know, that's the first thing they got to do at that position is take care of the ball.
Any health issues? I know we talked about that Saturday that you were going to speak about.
I will. We've got some guys now I got to really pause on until I get a report.
Specifically about Taylor, is any question about was he completely?
No, he was cleared from. He surpassed his pre-concussion test. The concussion didn't have anything to do with that the week before.
I think that confused me. Marshall one time of possession like 25 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not talking about. Yeah, I know. Time of possession sometimes way overrated. I get that because the way they can quick strike, but I don't know. I know you can't. I don't know who's gotten in a shootout with them and won either. You know, and that's where the more you can keep them off the field. Now you can't let them score, you know, in 47 seconds like they're capable of doing. That's where your field distribution and being sound in space really comes in, because you look at some of those big plays in the Marshall game, it's where they get a one-on-one, they attack the inside shoulder, and they're going the distance. You know, there's just so many quick strike that they've done all year.
You just mentioned that you haven't made a decision on who's going to start yet. What's going to be your criteria in terms of making a
We'll see how they practice, you know. See how they practice and go in. You know, we've got a lot invested in Taylor and Nick. You know, I would. You know, a year ago it was what led to this was Nick was turning the football over. You know, that's the most important position there is on the field of football, and we got to get somebody who's going to take care of the ball. And I can promise you, you know, Taylor is athletic enough. He's makes decision. We got to get his swagger back. We got to get his confidence back.
Is there any concern that it becomes a situation like it was, really, I guess, 2 years ago, where there was never a definitive decision made on who the quarterback was, and it seemed like it just led to a situation where there was a lot of confusion out there offensively?
When was that?
Well, maybe.
I don't remember that.
Maybe it was before last year.
Yeah, I don't remember ever not having a. I don't understand your question.
Going into last season.
Well, a lot of that was we didn't know Texas last season to know who our starting quarterback was. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, that was just, you know, it was Taylor. Every time you watch practice, he was really performing at a rate. We thought he was going to be, and he was special in that game. Then he got hurt after the first quarter of the North Texas game, and then Nick took over, and then when Taylor came in at SMU for a series, re-injured the shoulder, and then the last two games when he was healthy started again. Right?
Coach, you talk about just your defense as a whole, but your secondary in particular, just kind of what they face this weekend, and the fact that U of H has so many guys that they like to rotate in, they like to do a lot of different things, those quick outs and stuff, and just kind of how your corners specifically.
That's where you got to be so good in space, because they are so good at running a quick out and making a 4-yard hitch, you know, turn it into a 90-yard play, because they make you miss that tackle. You've got to be great. For us to have a chance, we have to make sure that we have our best tackling game of the year, because of the way they make people miss at the receiver position, at the running back position. You know, they're just incredibly gifted, and they have a very gifted man at the quarterback that gets to the ball where it needs to go.
Was there anything on film from Saturday that jumped out at you, the issues with tackling? Especially Kenny, you had Kenny in space a couple times.
Yeah, you know, that was where we thought we didn't tackle well in space. Thought we tackled okay, but we should have had, I think it was 3 sacks on Kenny, where we had him just right there and just missed him.
Have there been any neighborhood shenanigans between you and Coach Sumlin, like in years past?
No, we just been busy. This Thursday night game changes everything. You know what, I really, this year hadn't even talked to him since 2-a-days. You just get busy in your own little worlds when the season starts.
Your favorite was the coffee lady thing again, or?
We were spending too much in hats. We had to let that one go.
Coach, you in favor of the non-Saturday games?
They've never asked me to vote, but if I got to vote, you know, you like traditional Saturday football, especially when you're at Rice. You know, we went through today to find out, you know, who needs to be in class Thursday, because that is important.
So how do you, on something like that, how do you adjust? Because I know you get how you would prepare for a normal game, but is it a matter of some kids don't get on the bus with you to go over there, or do you got to work ahead?
Right. Well, that's exactly what we're doing. Some guys we're going to pick up, like some guys that are on special teams. We're just going to get them to the hotel for pregame and try to keep as many young men in class that we can. If anybody is struggling in any classes, you know, they're going to go to school.
You mentioned not having the vote, though, but clearly this isn't an ideal situation for anyone.
For anyone.
Preparation.
Right.
From a coaching perspective and administrative perspective, what can be done or said to make sure you're not playing the team as prolific as U of H with basically 2 days of full preparation?
You know what? That's at the commissioner's level, the TV contracts. I mean, it truly is. I'm sure, I know every year Rick Greenspan tells them what we'd prefer, and it's not a Thursday night game.
Beyond just the 2 days, I mean, how hard is it to simulate in practice what they do in preparation?
You know, we're just going to have to, today we're going to put, you know, where you're conflicted in what you do is we're probably still a little sore from the game, and so you really can't prepare. You know, normally what we've tried to do when we've played the high-tempo offenses was get our own offense to come at us and run those series of plays. You can't do that on these weeks. So we're going to have to do the best we can with the scout team and make sure there's not a lot of physical contact going on at practice, because they also have to be fresh Thursday with less rest. So you can't do the number of reps. You can't sustain the same length of practice that you would. Well, John, thanks, guys.